What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We are back in the world of Technic, and today I'm going to show you guys how to farm crystals in Thaumcraft effectively. This is one of the biggest hamstrings about Thaumcraft and getting your stuff going. Now, what you're going to need before you start doing this is two things. One, you're going to need the Crystalline Bell research, and then you're going to need the Totem of Dawn researched. Now, if you're looking in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see that I've got about a 20% give or take positive Vis charge. Now this right here is because of these totems that are on the ground. These are the Totem of Dawn. They naturally increase the Vis in the area. Now this room will fluctuate. Why it fluctuates so heavily, I'm not exactly sure. But I've had this room as high as 80% or as low as 20%. You just need to maintain a positive charge. And as long as that number is positive, your crystals are going to grow. Now to make these crystals, let me show you how to do that. You need 9 of the same type, and then you just fill in the box like so, and you'll end up with a ore type of that type. And then you just go to the wall where you want to place it, right click, and now you've got a crystal that will grow. And as long as it's in a positive area, then it's just going to, over time, check it off. Now, one of the things you want to make sure is if you're kind of building this farm, it's going to take you a substantial amount of time because this is just a ridiculous amount of crystals. So make sure that you are tinking them regularly. And what I mean that is making sure that they're stuck on one little node. The bell, when you right click, it won't harvest the last one, but you want to make sure it's on that final charge. Now I have condensers that I was using to fund this, make sure I had plenty of Vis to recrystallize. But at this point, I've reached a point where, Vis isn't really an issue anymore. And I'll show you the tanks here in just a second. As you can see, I've got plenty of Vis stored over here. Probably got about 12,000, maybe 13,000 stacked up. So while you're trying to farm these crystals up, and they do grow fairly quickly, you're probably going to get about a crystal a minute, maybe even more. You can actually use the crystallizer to change the crystals that you don't want. So I've got plenty of red. I can either take these down and dump them in the condenser and drain the Vis out of them, but it also pulls Vis out of the aura, which let me show you that real quick. If you look down here by all these condensers, not only does this have a negative taint charge, but if you look in the bottom left, I'm down to 870 Vis in the air, and that's it's kind of low. It's kind of dangerous. I don't really want to have a taint infection. I mean, I can fight it with Totems of Dawn, but it's just kind of a pain in the butt. But if you recrystallize over here, you'll notice that I don't have the negative charge over here. There's plenty of Vis in the air. I'm standing on the chunk, and I've actually got a 50% bonus or 50% charge to Vis. So you can just cycle these over and over again. Now, you may want to do the same thing with taint, and I've got several taint crystals down here. To do taint, you need to put a concentrated evil into this little guy here, and all that does is add taint crystals to the mix. And you're going to notice on this little jar here, or on the top of the crystallizer, I now have a taint crystal. If you don't put this mod in there, then you won't have the crystal. So if you're not going to be going for tainted crystals and you don't want to have that option, then I would recommend putting in a Quicksilver core in here. Once you've got this guy in here, the whole thing just moves substantially faster. And you can swap these out at any time with a Wand of Reversal. You just come over to it, right click, it'll pop that mod out, and then you can place the mod that you want back in. And you just right click it, and you'll see we've got the mod in. And the Quicksilver core just makes it run a hell of a lot faster. So it'll make your cycling of the gems substantially quicker. The other thing you're going to make sure is that you've got your Vis crystal farm in the same chunk that you are, or nearby, or with a world anchor, so that it stays loaded. But it does grow pretty quick. I mean, we've already come through just a minute ago, about 2 minutes ago, and cleared this thing out, and we've already got 2 new crystals that have already grown. And you'll have it sometimes where they'll grow in spurts, where you'll have like half of the wall spurt up out of nowhere and fill up. So it does grow pretty quick. I mean, it's definitely not going to be as fast as some of the other natural occurring resources, but it definitely beats the heck out of digging for crystals. And there we go. So this right here is my little tutorial on how to effectively farm for Vis Crystals. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please click that like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss on any of my other videos, tips, tricks, and guides. And I'll catch you guys in the next clip.